Expectation versus reality. Expectation. You make a mistake, the teacher corrects you, and you never ever make that mistake again. Reality. You make a mistake, the teacher corrects you, and you make the same mistake over and over again. When that happens, many students ask me, why do I keep on making the same mistake again and again? Can I learn faster? Why is it so frustrating? Well, in this video, I'm going to explain why you keep on making the same mistakes over and over, why it takes time to truly learn something, and I'm also going to share what I believe are realistic and healthy expectations when it comes to learning English. The learning matrix. Let me introduce you to the learning matrix, also known as the 4 stages of competence. This is a model that explains that there are 4 stages in the learning process. So there are 4 steps in the learning process of going from incompetence to competence in any skills. Again, there are 4 stages and you need to go through each of them. You have to go one by one, and that process takes time. You can't take several steps at once. No, you have to go one by one. So the first step is, or the first stage is called unconscious incompetence. This means that you don't know what you don't know. For example, you say college instead of colleague, right? Because you don't know how to pronounce colleague. So you say college. That's your intuition, right? You don't know that you don't know. The second stage is called conscious incompetence. It means that now you know you don't know. So again, you say college instead of colleague, and the teacher corrects you and says, no, you should say colleague, not college in this case. So now you know that you didn't know how to pronounce this word. Stage number 4 is conscious competence. This means that you know you know. So you made a mistake, the teacher corrected you, and now you know how to say colleague. But you have to make an effort, you have to really think about how to say this word in order not to make a mistake. So I see sub-stages in this third stage. This is unofficial, right? This is my opinion, this is what I see. So it can happen that you are talking and you make the mistake and you don't realize it. So for example, you say, yes, I was having lunch with my college and blah, blah, blah. But if the teacher says, you were having lunch with your college, is that the word you need? You may say, oh no, sorry, I was having lunch with my colleague and blah, blah, blah. The second stage is when you make the mistake and you realize you made a mistake, so you self-correct. So for example, I will use the same sentence. I was having lunch with my colleague and, my colleague and blah, blah, blah. So you self-correct. And the third stage is when you don't make the mistake, but you are putting a lot of effort into not making this mistake. For example, you want to say, I was having lunch with and you are thinking, your brain is working a lot. I was having lunch with my colleague, yes, and blah, blah, blah. So you don't make the mistake, but you're still trying hard not to make that mistake. And then stage number 4 is called unconscious competence, which means that you don't know you know. So this is when you mastered that thing. Going back to the same example, you can say colleague naturally. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about the difference between college and colleague. It just comes naturally. You learned it, right? It comes as second nature. So, well done. Many people get frustrated because they want to go from stage number 2 to stage number 4. So they expect to make a mistake, be corrected by the teacher, and then never make that mistake again. But it doesn't work that way. Can it happen sometimes? Yes, of course, but the most usual thing is that you follow the stages and that you go from stage 2, being corrected, to stage 3, making the mistake sometimes, until you reach stage 4. And this is true for anything that you learn. To learn to speak a language, to play a musical instrument, play a sport, drive, cook a meal, anything. You have to go through the stages. Let me give you another example. Think about the first time that you used a keyboard. So probably you started using 2 fingers and you probably stared at the keyboard and typed very slowly, made lots of mistakes, and then slowly you progressed, you improved and started using more fingers and started looking at the screen. You probably made lots of mistakes as well until you mastered the skill, and probably now you can type really fast using all your fingers and looking at the screen, right? But it wasn't that easy at the beginning. It was challenging, it was hard, and it took time for you to improve, right? So think about that experience when you're learning something in English. So to answer the students' questions that I mentioned at the beginning, and I wrote them here so I don't forget. Why do I make the same mistake over and over again? Because you're on stage 3, my dear. You have to go from stage 3 to stage 4, but you cannot skip it. You're still there. How can I learn faster? So as I said before, there are 4 stages or more if you count my mini stages inside stage number 3. There are several stages that you have to go through, and that takes time. How much time? Well, it's up to you. It's up to it's up to you. How fast do you want to improve? How much effort and work do you want to put into it? And why is it so frustrating? My answer is the same. There are 4 stages or more, and you have to go through all of them, and it can be, yes, a long process. But making the same mistake over and over again doesn't mean that you're not going to stop making it. Yes, it's like going up the stairs. You know, sometimes you feel tired, and taking every single step involves a lot of effort. Maybe you want to take a break and you see maybe other people running up the stairs and you feel maybe, I don't know, jealous or frustrated. Well, it's up to you. Sometimes you're tired, sometimes you don't have energy, sometimes you want to stop, but you have to put in the work if you want to move forwards, right? You have to make the effort to move your body weight upwards, right? So that you can take the next step. It takes time and effort, but you can definitely do it. Now, before you go, I want you to remember 3 things. Number 1, and I cannot highlight this enough, there are stages in the learning process, and you have to go through all of them. You cannot skip them. You cannot skip any of them, and that takes time. Number 2, it is normal to make the same mistakes again and again. That means that you're on stage number 3, and it's up to you to move forwards. But making the mistake again and again doesn't mean that you're not good at this. No, not at all. And number 3, remember of all those skills that you have mastered already. If you could master those skills, you can master English as well. If you believe you can't, that's nonsense, okay? That's nonsense. Yes, you can. You just have to put in the effort. Okay, I would really like it if you could share with me your pain points so that I can help you in future videos. I hope you have found this video useful, and see you next time. Bye!